Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday, if you're seeing this on Sunday. I just wanted to pop on and talk to you about the recipe to getting your desire. So before we begin, don't forget to check out the description box below. And if you'd like a session with me, you can find the link down below. And also, we are offering a free course about how to uncover your blocks and manifest fast. So, the recipe for manifesting your desires is the same. Whether it's to manifest an SP, or it's to manifest money, or it's to manifest a job, weight loss, appearance change, it's the same thing. So, when you look at how your external is showing up for you, that's a sign to show you where your thoughts, assumptions, self-concept, mental diet has been. So for example, if you say, I've been doing all the techniques, I've been doing all the work, I've been manifesting for 3 months and SP still blocked me. The fact that you're still blocked shows to me that maybe you weren't really doing all the work. You still have some type of fear or block that they're not going to unblock you. You're not chosen. He's stubborn. He's moving on and he's going to keep you blocked. Because if you had the assumption that he unblocks you, he misses you, he loves you, he chooses you, he's over whatever, she's over whatever situation happened to get you blocked in the first place, you're unblocked, you'd be unblocked. Let's be so for real, right? So now if you have been doing the work and really working on self-concept and those thoughts and those doubts, then just continue to persist and you'll see movement and it'll reflect. But you have to be honest with yourself. What were you really thinking? Even if you were doing all the techniques, maybe your routine in the morning is affirmations for 10 minutes in the morning and things you're grateful for. Maybe then you do mirror work. Then maybe throughout the day when you're driving to work or to school, you're listening to an audio, a tape about self-concept or love, romance. And then maybe before you go to bed, you script, you visualize, and you sleep with a sleep tape. That's great. But in between, if you're having inner conversations about your desire or complaining about your desire or checking your bank account if the money is there or checking social media to see if SP looked at your story, posted a picture with another person, whatever the case may be, then you're not really staying in a state of the wish fulfilled long enough or dominantly enough for that to reflect and that to happen. So that's a good way to gauge where you're at. Whatever's showing back at you is proof that you're in the state of either being the version of yourself that has the desire and that has changed and is the new version with the new thoughts, or by looking on the outside, it's going to show you, you know what, I'm still seeing the same thing. I'm repeating the same hamster wheel. Maybe you're getting a little bit of movement and then it's going back to normal. Then you know that there's some type of wavering or something, kind of unfavorable, not the greatest thing happening in your mental diet. So the recipe would be like a recipe for a cake. So I'm going to bring out my trusty bowl. If I was baking a cake, I would have to put in the correct ingredients, the correct measurements, the correct amount to create the cake. Flour, sugar, eggs, whatever the case may be. Now, if I add rotten milk to the cake, cake's not going to work. If I add too much sugar and not enough flour, cake's not going to work. So it's the same way when you are manifesting. So let's try to get a little gauge here in my bowl. I feel like when I was teaching kindergarten online during COVID and doing science experiments. So if you're baking a cake to get SP, and you're putting in doubts, fears, complaints, he's flaky, she doesn't want commitment, they're cheaters, they're annoying, what kind of cake are you creating? Are you putting the proper ingredients in the cake to make the proper recipe? Are you putting in the proper ingredients to create a faithful, loving, committed relationship with the version of SP that you love and adore, that does contact you constantly, consistently, that is faithful, that does love you, that does adore you, that does show up for you romantically, gifts, special occasions, Valentine's Day, birthdays, that does take your thoughts into consideration, that does set boundaries with people that shouldn't be, in the picture that have been interfering, that does put you on a pedestal. So those are the ingredients you need to put in to create that cake, that version of that person. Same with money or a job. This job is hard to get. They're looking for somebody younger or older. I haven't had a job in so long, so they won't hire me. They're looking for somebody with more school. I don't have enough education. I've never worked in this field. I'm not going to get the job. Well, what kind of version of that job cake are you going to be creating? You keep putting the wrong ingredients in that cake. You're not following the proper recipe. So what you need to do is put the proper ingredients in. So when I say the recipe or the formula is the same regardless of what your desire is, a lot of people come on and they're trying to manifest an SP. However, it's the same thing. The first thing you need to do is think about what are the unfavorable, not so good, limiting beliefs, stories, rumors, things that people have told me, things that I have adopted about not getting the desire. It might look like I'm not pretty enough, I'm too tall, I'm too short, I'm too skinny, I'm not attractive enough for SP, relationships don't work out for me, I'm never chosen, I'm always rejected, men are cheaters, women are cheaters. Or if it's for money, for example, money's hard to get. I never get money. Growing up, my family was poor. My parents always used to tell me money doesn't grow on trees. They wouldn't buy me stuff. My parents were always in a lax state with money, holding on to cash because they were always afraid they'd run out. So now I'm afraid to spend money. And when I spend money, I feel broke. I don't expect money to come in. If it comes to a job, same idea. I'm too young for this job. I'm too old for this job. They're looking for someone more experienced. So the first thing is, let's find those blocks. Let's find those limiting beliefs, those stories. If you really want to dig, you can say, oh my gosh, this makes sense because when I was growing up, my parents were divorced. And that's why now I don't have, faith in relationships. And I always attract people that break up because divorce was like normal to me growing up. Yes, you could go as far as that to help figure out where it stemmed from, like what happened in your past to create that doubt, that fear, that assumption, that story about your desire. You can. I like to do that because it just makes sense for me to figure out where it came from. However, we don't need to do all that inner child healing and all that. What you need to do is see what the block is now. Money's hard to get. Relationships don't work out. People break up. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not good enough. Whatever it is. Let's not even worry about where it came from. We just know now and what is going on now. These are the blocks. Okay? So first, you find the blocks of your desire. Whatever the desire is. Your blocks towards relationships, your blocks towards your image, your blocks maybe towards money, towards jobs, towards friendships, whatever. So first, you're going to find those blocks by sitting with yourself and making a list of all those negative stories, assumptions, limiting belief, cultural beliefs. That's what you're going to do first. So first, you're going to identify what the blocks are. Next, you're going to remove those blocks, delete those blocks, and replace them with the favorable story. Money is easy to get. I'm good enough just the way I am. I've always been in faithful relationships. Even if my parents got divorced, that does not define me. Whatever the opposite, basically, of that negative list, you're going to write a list on the opposite, the positive version of that. So those are your good ingredients. And those are the ingredients that you're going to put in your cake. Those are the ingredients that you're going to say every day, think about every day, and go back to every day. This negative list is the nasty ingredients that won't make the cake that you want. And the new favorable list, which we've uncovered the blocks and replaced them with a new story, are going to be the ingredients you want to use to create that desire. So how do you do that? Some people can just choose to be in the state of the wish fulfilled. I know I am so-and-so's wife. I am wife material. I am the best at this job. I am a millionaire. You could do that. However, some people that have just uncovered their blocks are going to need to replace those blocks with repetition. The reason why those unfavorable stories were created and stuck for so long is because they were repeated over and over again through friends, family, stereotypes, limiting beliefs, whatever the case may be. So now we have to undo that. But instead of doing 10, 20, 30 years of negative, unfavorable stories, it's not going to take that long because that's how we manifest. We're always manifesting unconsciously, monkey chatter on autopilot. But now we've learned how to consciously manifest. So now we're going to be aware of those thoughts. The best way to change those thoughts is repetition in the new thoughts to block out and kick out the old thoughts. How do we do that? With techniques. You can affirm the new thought. You can visualize the new thoughts, script them, talk about them, pretend like you're having a conversation with your friend of how happy you are that you just got that job and you're 6 months in and you got a promotion. Talk to your friends as if it's already done. You can do SATs before bed, state akin to sleep, where you're in a drowsy state and you're imagining the scene of you getting the job or having the money, whatever the desire is. And you keep doing that and you persist in that until it hardens into fact. So I hope that helped clarify that to bake and create the cake that you want, you gotta fill it with the good, the right, the appropriate ingredients and the right amount of ingredients. It's the same formula for any desires. Uncover those blocks, replace them with the new thoughts, be consistent, try not to waver, stay in that favorable story more dominantly. You don't have to be perfect. It could be 49 and 51%. It doesn't matter. Be in that state more favorable, more dominant. Put more of those good ingredients to make the cake taste better than putting some, not so good ingredients in it to make the cake not taste good. So I intend that my little analogy about baking helped you with discovering the recipe to create any of your desires and to remember to always put in the right ingredients. So I intend that helped you. And if you would like coaching or if you would like me to help you more with this, feel free to go into the description box below and book a session and I would love to help you. Okay? Enjoy your cake.